This is the mechanical drop piece traction unit. Now this unit was also developed by Dr. Wogan, and what this does, it provides a low tone vibration. So this actually vibrates at 4.5 hertz, and what this helps really mobilize is what we call the rib cage. In the scoliosis patients, their rib cage becomes asymmetrical and it becomes very stiff, and the ribs can actually stop us from absolutely changing the spine properly. So when we apply patients on this, the number one goal is to mobilize the rib cage, but we can use it for other configurations, which we're going to show you in a second. This is one of the variations to mechanical drop piece traction, and this is what we use for a standard setup. And what we're doing is we're using wedges and weights to derotate the pelvis. We're using the mechanical drop piece to actually decrease the rib deformity and also mobilize the rib cage. And then we're tractioning here out to help improve the flexibility of the cervical spine. And we're doing all this at 4.5 hertz to help really relax the ligaments into the body. What's unique about this 4.5 hertz frequency is that it addresses and only really focuses on the tight ligaments, and it helps do that in different areas. Now in scoliosis patients, where we know they have these curves, the areas that are tight are inside the curves, and the ones that are on the outside of the curves tend to be more stretched. So this tends to focus more on the inside of the curvatures. It's a really good setup for a typical scoliosis patient. This is another variation of mechanical drop piece traction, and this is what we use a lot for thoracic curves. And the reason why in the thoracic scoliosis, not only do we have a curvature in the thoracic spine, but we get a lot of rotation in that rib cage, causing this part of the ribs to actually move more posterior. So we angle the mechanical drop piece to try to derotate the thoracic spine, and when this is vibrating, it actually mobilizes that area, and we call this counter rotation of the thoracic spine, while we're tractioning and also derotating the pelvis back in the opposite direction. So this is a setup that we use for thoracic scoliosis cases, specifically to decrease that rib deformity. This is another variation of mechanical drop piece traction. Now what's interesting about this setup is instead of using this like it was designed to mobilize the thoracic spine, we're using it to mobilize the pelvis. In a lumbar curve, what happens is just like thoracic curves get thoracic deformity or thoracic rib humping, in lumbar curves, we see pelvic deformity and a lot of pelvic rotation. So what this is doing is help vibrating the pelvic specifically and helping derotate the pelvis in this particular direction, because this is what mostly we see in lumbar curves. We're blocking the shoulder over there to prevent the shoulder from rotating, and at the same time we're tractioning and inducing the vibration into the spine. Very good setup for a lumbar curve.